I think what everybody's looking at really is, can one of DeSantis or Haley actually distinguish themselves as the other guy or other gal? And that's kind of what we'll be looking for. But I think it will probably be, as you were through the new year. And I think that's part of the frustration and disappointment with these debates, that they haven't really moved the needle in anybody's favor. And it's Donald Trump again. That's just going to be, he's out in front by so far that it's not going to make a difference.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story is going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with managing editor Chris Irvine.
Hey.
And Chris, the fourth Republican debate, the final one of this year, occurred last night at the time of this taping. What are some of your top takeaways from this debate, besides the fact that why are we still having them?
I think that is the top takeaway. Like, why are we still trapped in this purgatory that is these debates without Donald Trump? I thought that, again, I think I've even said to you before in previous recordings of these, I want to see Nikki Haley go up against Ron DeSantis. And felt to me like last night, Ramaswamy and Chris Christie were kind of just distractions to this. Christie, I actually thought, had arguably the best showing of the night. It took him a little while to kind of get off the bench and start throwing punches, to mix metaphors. But I thought he was good. I thought he took DeSantis and Ramaswamy to task a lot. And I thought he generally came across aggressive but knowledgeable. Ramaswamy, on the other hand, I felt like he's been kind of toying with internet conspiracy theories and things like that for a while, but he just took a full-on, hard right turn there, and I thought his overall contributions were a real waste of time to the whole debate. DeSantis, again, sort of seemed to equip himself well. A lot of people seem to think that he won it last night. I think he just did relatively well without kind of doing anything showboaty. And then Haley, I thought, actually was maybe the poorest performance of the lot. I thought she was particularly low-key. Maybe she feels that, the target's over her right now and she doesn't want to do anything stupid to kind of rock the boat, but it made her come across as quite passive, and I was quite disappointed with that. She seems like the only one of that group that has any kind of momentum, if you want to call it that, against Trump, and I don't think she really did herself any favors.
Do you see the fields winnowing at all before we get to the Iowa caucuses now 5-6 weeks away, or do you think that we're going to see it continue at this level for the foreseeable future?
I could be wrong. I was quite surprised that Tim Scott dropped out when he did, but I don't see there being any point in anyone dropping out. I know that Christie has said that he kind of wants to go through to New Hampshire, and whether that's realistic or not, I don't know. Ramaswamy can pretty much fund himself if he wants to. I think what everybody's looking at really is, can one of DeSantis or Haley actually distinguish themselves as the other guy or other gal? And that's kind of what we'll be looking for. But I think it will probably be, as you were through the new year. And I think that's part of the frustration and disappointment with these debates, that they haven't really moved the needle in anybody's favor. And it's Donald Trump again. That's just going to be, he's out in front by so far that it's not going to make a difference.
That's right, and he's out in front so far that Biden said this week he wouldn't necessarily be running for re-election if it wasn't so likely that he'd be facing Trump in the general election. Why do you think that admission was so telling?
I mean, he said sort of similar in 2020, but this one to me felt particularly jarring, and I think the White House tried to play it down a bit and say, like, whoa, I can't believe this is a news story. And it's like, well, you've basically kind of admitted that you don't really want the job. And it's troubling because obviously Biden's age is a massive factor here. And we all know that his vice president isn't exactly blowing the doors off everything. And so if he does hypothetically beat Trump in 2024, then is he going to consider that job done? And is he going to hand the keys over to an unelected president for 3.5 years? It's a very real issue. And I think although he tried to walk it back a little bit, I found it quite a shocking admission that, he might not be running for Trump. It's not a platform to run on. You want to run on your policies and your message. It's not just, I want to beat the other guy. And I thought that was really quite disturbing.
Yeah, his policies are so unpopular, it makes that difficult to do.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Chris.
Yep.
You can get more writing from Chris and the rest of the politics team at washingtonexaminer.com.